This is the summer update on the new area of garden that I recently redeveloped. There was a lot of noise outside, so I'm trying to do a bit of a voiceover. So I'm hoping that I can keep up with what I was saying. Looking at sable rosei right there. And then in the middle there is a hardy citrange. So I've been adding more things in because I can't seem to stand looking at bare dirt. But I am having some issues with the heat. This is a Little John bottle brush. As you can see, it lost most of its leaves. It was out in full sun at the nursery, but it can't quite handle the sun and heat in my yard. So I've had a few losses because of that, and I've just been kind of replacing as I go. Even these lavenders here have really been struggling, but I'm seeing signs of new growth. Here's that hardy citrange again. It actually seems to be enjoying the heat, which is great. The agapanthus I planted are just about done blooming for the year. There's the Thai tree hardy citrus. And then down here is one of the euphorbias that I started from cuttings. This is Wolfenii, and as you can see, it's taken quite well. Just kind of jammed it in the ground and tried to make sure it was moist. So a common plant here in the Pacific Northwest. The other one I planted didn't quite take as well, but it is showing signs of growth. And then down here is another euphorbia, which I don't recall what type it was. And back there, I had a beautiful silver manzanita. And I managed to kill that one too. I don't really know if it was too much water or not enough water. I'm not sure, but all I can say is it was looking fine. It was growing well. I went on vacation, I came back and it was dead. So I've just replaced that with this Eucalyptus cinerea. So this will be interesting. Still maintains that silvery color. These will eventually grow into trees. I'm planning on trying to keep this as a bush and pruning aggressively, but if it doesn't work out, I can always remove it at a later date. Beside it is a Trithrinax acanthocoma, which is an uncommon palm from Brazil. And here are one of the Aloe Ampulos striatula, or hardy aloe. It's a cutting I took, and the same thing, you just kind of cut it and stick it in there and just make sure it has moisture and it'll go. And these are some sparkler sedums. I have 2 or 3 different varieties, but the purple one seems to really struggle, whereas that kind of variegated form doesn't seem to mind the heat at all. But I am seeing signs of new growth, so I think in time it'll be okay. Purple Santa Rita cactus, and one of my favorite palms, Sable Cossiera. And here is the yuzu that I transplanted a couple months ago. Big triple trachea, strawberry trees in front of it, and one of my hybrid cycads that I planted not too long ago. This is Cycas guazuensis crossed with Revoluta. It has been pushing new fronds, so this one's quite happy. Camerops humulus, just kind of your regular yuccas, another one of those aloes. And then over here I've planted some bluegrass, blue fescue. It's very drought tolerant, and it's at the base of the citramella, which has finally started pushing out some new growth. So I've had success in transplanting all of the hardy citrus. There's one of my olive trees. It does have olives on it. That's an Arbequina. And just some more other small ones down here. That was my volunteer smoke bush. And then this area was where I had some big ceanothus that I removed. And what I've put in its place, Agave funkiana, and that is a dwarf pampas grass. So we'll see how that one turns out. I've not seen one before, but we'll see what happens. Butea areospatha, the woolly jelly palm. Another olive, Rosa Sharon, pretty common plant. Yet another olive, and the red yucca. This is Hesperalo parviflora. You can see lots of blooms on this one. And I have had successful germination. I do have the seed pod starting. I have successfully grown them from this plant before, so they are viable. And back here is my mule palm. It's actually doing quite well. It's getting crowded out before by that ceanothus, but now it's looking good, and I've made sure that I'm keeping a lot of water on it. Gets quite a bit of sun here. Kind of to the left of that, you'll see is the green goblet agave. But mule palm's looking good. It's finally starting to get a little bit of size. Here's that Butia areospatha again. This last month is when it's really started to put on some new growth. And here's my row of oleanders. Some are kind of getting to the end of their bloom cycle. And the smaller one, here's the pineapple guava, Feijoa celoviana. Nice tropical looking fruit tree, and adds a lot of interest to the gardens. Beautiful silvery leaves, broadleaf evergreen, and exotic flowers. You just need to kind of get some better shape to them now that I removed the ceanothus that are a little bit funky. So here we are back to the the nice flowering plants. One of my 2 lone female trachys with a good seed set on it. And here we are. This is actually my Sable urosana. I thought this thing was a goner because it seemed like it was slowly not throwing enough fronds out each year for what was kind of dying off, and this year it decided to surprise me. It's currently pushing its 3rd frond, which is the most it's ever done in a year. As you can see, it's no longer strap leaf. It's got the nice little fan leaves, and I have been diligently watering this one. With those ceanothus removed, now it gets sun all day. Agave Americana, this is the variegated form. This one is a new one to me, just got planted. Sad looking Trachycarpus uchrolensis, but it is growing. And then here's your Ponsyrus trifoliate. This is the flying dragon form. Over here, Yucca recurvifolia, a real common one around these parts, but it has struggled. I was gonna pull it out this year. And then now, for whatever reason, it's got out of the funk it's been in the last few and is really growing on nicely. So left of that is a manzanita, that's sunset, and then here is the Washingtonian robusta. Some callistemon, which is the yellow bottle brush. Just kind of a look down this way. Apologize for the grass. It's really hard to maintain the greenness in this climate. And then back in the corner here's Sable minor McCurtain seed grown, nice Camerops humulus. And that's Howard McMinn, that manzanita. That's a good one for gardens because it can take more water than many of them. So highly recommend that. California fuchsias, big needle palm. And then I guess probably one of my most impressive plants is my nice big Yucca rostrata. Looking fantastic. Below that are some more Sable minor McCurtain I grew from seed, a couple Kuntis, and then there's the big Butia odorata with a few underplantings which may get removed. And back to yet another olive tree. And then I put in these ice plants, these Delosperma cooperi. Just happened to see them on clearance at Lowe's, so they were good size. I thought they would look good in that spot. Now we're going to kind of go over here to the other small side garden. And this is definitely my best looking Camerops humulus surifera. Very silvery blue color, very compact form because this thing gets blasted with sun all day. And then here's some more of my Yucca rostrata. These are the Sapphire Skies variant. Grew these from just little tiny plants, and they're starting to trunk now. This one seems to always get bugs for some reason, and that's why it has that bit of damage. As soon as I see them, I hit them with the insecticide spray. It clears them up, but once again, just this one. Don't really understand why. Some more trachys. And the couple more little Kuntis I put in. Looks like the rabbits ate half of that one because they're back again. Cycas type tonguensis, and that is the Moroccan pineapple broom. And then my trachys. Took 4 years for them to look that good. And then just a little bit more of a repetition on this side of the same plants. Yuccas, Agapanthus, red hot pokers, and then that's the Sable Birmingham. It went in same time as the Sable rosei, same size. Definitely a slow slower grower. I have been watering this thing diligently. And just some big strawberry trees, and then it's kind of tough to see here, but behind that hedge of ceanothus, our Pacific madrone is starting to make an appearance. And then here are some of my street trees. I decided to go with all southern magnolias. They are remarkably drought tolerant, and these are all dwarf varieties. I do water them. It's their second year in the ground, so I read that you gotta water street trees for the first 3 years. And last little yucca rostrata, red hot poker, is probably the only one left with the flower. There's about done for the year. That one's actually flamenco. Just kind of showing you the shot from here. In time, all that mulch will be pretty much gone. My poor agave that's in recovery mode. And here we are, just kind of showing you from this angle. One more sable minor McCurtain, and here is the seeds that are developing on my Butia odorata a little late this year. Very unlikely that they'll fully mature. You can see a lot of sun in my yard. Very dry conditions, so I really need tough things, but these, you can see these salvia, they seem to thrive in this. Just kind of a last overall look. At all the spiky goodness. So in time, this should be a pretty dense planting, a lot higher than it is now.